Good morning, everybody. What is going on? Good morning, everybody. Ed, Shayak, Tom, good morning. Tom, I like that idea. That's kind of like the Michael Jordan poster in Home Alone. That's what I need to get going on. One trade a day. Afternoon to you. Hey, Jesse. Hey, Gene. Good morning, Matt. Morning, Cricket. Might be coming up on this gap fill, guys. Let's mark that out. This is pre-CPI news. So there we have the CPI gap. We'll also, of course, include the gap from last night. So a couple gaps going, then obviously the yesterday's highs up there. Get this whole region of highs that we've been testing. Matt is asking, what is the 2000 tick equivalent to minutes? It doesn't have an equivalent. It's just a completely different chart. Because it's not time-based, so sometimes it could act depending on how many orders are coming through. It could act as a 1-minute chart, it could act as a 5-minute chart, it could act as a 30-second chart. Hey Johnny, why am I starting my channel there? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, I see. It's not quite on the high. I do think it has a break a new low though, yeah, Johnny. Hey Toad, good morning. Yeah, the 250K accounts are still on sale. They're still matching the 50K account price, so they are about 92% off right now. Good morning, Gong Show. What's up? Shayak asking, how are they going to pay out on the 250K account funded accounts? I'm sure they'll at least a few hundred 250K PAs will be eligible. How will they pay that out? The same way that they've paid out $195 million over the last couple of years. They got plenty of money to pay out. All right. Yes, Cricket. I will mark out the NQ. I haven't really done that yet. Morning, AOD. Morning, Carlos. From Tennessee. Okay. Tennessee boy here. Hey, what's up, Juan? Been a minute. Alright, let's head over to the Nasdaq. The market is open now. And the Nasdaq, it looks like the downtrend is already done. I don't like that wider downtrend. This pretty much looks like a breaking new low already, so that's what I'm playing. Jesse bringing us wise words from Canadian folklore. How do you eat a beaver? One maple syrup drenched bite at a time. Hey, those are deep words, man. Those are deep. All right, so I'll mark out the gap on the Nasdaq. We're way far away from that CPI gap, so I'm not even sure that's gonna be in the conversation today. But if it gets closer, we'll mark it out. Here's the overnight gap. Looks like we're about to fill it. This is looking like a spike and a channel. All right, so I am considering a long setup here on the S&P. as the spike up in the secondary channel looks to be pretty legit. And I think we can draw it on the Nas too. Coming up on that gap fill, the Nasdaq has one leg down right on the EMA. Let's get another leg and a bullish bar, and we could take a long there. Morning, Neil. Not getting that move down there. Still working higher, and yeah, if we can get a nice two-legged pullback to the EMA, could set up a great long here. Looks like the Nasdaq is just about ready to fill the gap. There it is. Gap is filled on the Nasdaq. The S&P has a ways to go, but is steadily working higher. Well, hope it's been a good week for everybody. Crazy that we were halfway through June already. And yeah, I mean, summer trading is going to be starting here pretty soon. Not expecting a lot of movement over the summer. We'll probably put in a big range right around here, right around this level. That's my bias anyway. Oops, I'm on mute. We're at the top of the channel here, and if we can get a nice pullback, this long is looking pretty good. It's been nice, steady grind up. That's what we like to see. Nothing too impulsive. Come on, baby. Let's get the pullback. Looks a little bit better on the NAS. We're already starting to go down. We've already had a first entry. Right there. Just need one more. Nice bull bar on the EMA, on the trend line. We'll be all over that. like we have the technical second entry on the Nasdaq, but we're not really at the EMA yet. 1 entry, 2 entries. We want to see the price action come down a little bit lower for us to join in on that. S&P starting to look pretty decent though. We have our first entry. We're like right at the EMA now. First entry right there. If we can get one more pullback, bull bar at the EMA, at the trend line, that's going to be solid. Gene asking news at 10. So yes, we do have consumer sentiment happening at 10 a.m. I don't think it's going to be a trend-inducing news item. The market's not waiting on it in order to make a trend or something. But as always, news can have a few volatile candles. So I think that's what will likely happen there. Nasdaq getting a little overshoot of the channel here. Might need to look for a wider pattern. Unfortunately, that doesn't really fit very well. Maybe something like that. I'm still interested in a long on the Nasdaq, especially if we get a pullback here. All right, S&P coming back down to the EMA here pretty soon. We do only have 10 minutes before the news release, so that's a little sketch. Yeah, bummer. If it sets up here, I'm not going to be able to take it with the news coming out. S&P coming back to the trend line, back to the EMA. What a shame. This could be an absolutely perfect setup. Good morning, John. Nice looking green candle there. Man, oh man. Wish we did not have a news release. John, good question. When will we have to roll over contracts to the next month? If you're on NinjaTrader, they will give you a heads up. They'll automatically roll it for you. So when that happens, when I get alerted by NinjaTrader, I just look at the volume between the two contracts and wait until there's more volume on the new contract, and that's when I switch over. 5 minutes till the news. Again, kind of a shame because this looks like a good long setup here on the S&P. A little bit of a divergence between the S&P and the Nasdaq. Nasdaq has not really pulled back at all, while the S&P keeps making new highs here. You can see the Nasdaq here, still on the high, just barely pulling back now. Here's where I'd be entering if it weren't for the news. This is a great candle. Yep, that's the second entry long, Tom. That is it indeed. "30 seconds until the news." Again, I don't think this is going to be major, but there's going to be some volatility for sure. There we go. There we go. We may be getting a correction here. Let's let the news settle down. Matt should say in the description of the video, but it's the 21 EMA. The Nasdaq, it looks like, is potentially having a second entry long, but yeah, you got to let this correction play out. The S&P, very weak here. Could correct for a while. Looks like the Nasdaq might start to correct as well. So keeping tabs on the correction channels. John asking, should the time frame be adjusted when trading micros versus minis according to the volume? Yeah, I mean, that's up to you. There's no exact science with which tick chart to use. Since the micros do trade less volume than the mini contracts, I usually do a little bit less of a tick chart, like maybe 1500. You'll just have to play with it, see what looks most similar. Big burst up on the Nasdaq here. S&P getting a little bit of rejection here at the EMA. Would love to see us break above and get a long setup. Tom saying this is where we had support yesterday. Let's zoom out and check that out. Yeah, pretty close. Pretty close. See if the S&P can bounce up here. The downtrend does have a break in a new low finally, so it is technically played out. We're right on the VWAP of the Qs right here. We'll see if we get a bounce or if this breaks through to the downside. Gene is long, yes. All right. Best of luck to you, Gene. S&P is below the VWAP now, kind of picking up speed on the selling side. We do have a bearish cross on the 10P indicator. Yeah, potentially going down for a gap fill on the CPI gap. That'd be a crazy move. Maybe we can get a bounce here as again, the downtrend does have a break and a new low. Q's coming back to test the VWAP again. ES might get a pop here as well. Just waiting for a bounce on the ES. I'd prefer to trade from the long side today. If we can get a bounce above the EMA and a failed second entry short, that would be preferable. Okay, so here's that bounce we were looking for. Let's see if we can get that second entry to the short side. So if we can get a little pullback and a mini second entry long, this is going to get me interested and I'll take a long position. Okay, here's the pullback on this little uptrend. That's funny, Gene. Yeah, I can assure you there is no amount of buying that all of this chat combined plus the chats of all the other traders on YouTube, there's no amount of buying we could all do together that would do anything to move this market. No, you haven't missed too much yet, Jesse. Right, again, just waiting for this pullback here. This could be a nice entry on the long side. We've already had one attempt to go higher here. Nasdaq is reaching a new high now. Coming up on the zone here, which has been the all-time highs. Market has turned down a couple times here. So it should be interesting to see what happens. Nice, Gene. Good work. Getting that pullback on NQ. And SPY is headed back down below VWAP. And check out what the Qs have. Qs are still above VWAP, but headed back down now. So watching this pretty closely. If the second entry long sets up right here, that could be a VWAP bounce. This would be the technical second entry right here on the S&P. Not good enough risk to reward for me personally, but you could consider taking that for sure. Move up. First entry, second entry, nice bull bar on the EMA. I'd prefer to see one more test down here and another bull bar. Alright, so here's that second little pullback to the EMA. Let's see if there's a bull bar here. Come on, baby. Let's see this bar tick below and then finish bullish. No, not quite a good enough bar. I was ready to buy there, but now it looks like we may be getting rejected off the EM or off the VWAP, headed lower. Unless this bar finishes bullish, still has a chance. Critical juncture for the SPY here. If we get a big turnaround bar, this actually could be a really nice trade, but it kind of feels like it's going to drop. Yeah, it's going to drop. Nasdaq is staying pretty strong, not really dropping down yet. Starting to get a little bit range-like. So we're starting to see some moves up and down, above and below the EMA. This is VWAP for QQQ. Okay, let's see how this pullback looks here. Might get a really nice short to set up, we'll see. Here we're starting to get that drop. And if we get below the swing low, this could be sayonara until we fill the gap. We could go fill the CPI gap. It's not out of the question. I'm gonna mark the overnight low. Hope you guys are doing well on this. I know this is kind of challenging price action when you get these swings up and down when it looks bullish and then it's not. And yeah, this can for sure chop some people up. So hope you guys are all doing good on this. Getting some weakness in the Nasdaq. And since it's been strong all morning, if it just continues to drop, it's going to help propel the market downwards. Let's zoom out. The CPI gap is way down there on the Nasdaq. We have to get through a lot of stuff to get to it. Right here somewhere. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge move. That'd be wild if we filled that. We'd have to get through yesterday's low, previous day's low, all sorts of stuff. I don't think we're going to get that move today. It's Friday. But again, I am looking at the pullback here and seeing if we get a nice second entry to the short side. S&P is pulling back. And this is where I'd want to see the short. We have a nice looking downtrend. If we can get 2 legs, bearish bar at the EMA, it's going to be nice. Okay, watching this closely here, we want to see some nice rejection at the EMA. Some good confirmation that sellers are still engaged here. Okay, so far no rejection at the EMA, and this is a pretty strong move up. And starting to get an early warning sign here, guys, of some volatile range behavior. I say this all the time, but when you get V-shaped reversals above and below the EMA, that is usually a signal that you are in some sort of range, and it is definitely a sign that you should probably not be trading. Nasdaq still has a chance. It's right at the EMA, maybe rejecting here. We'll see if we can get that. One move down, another move down. This is a sitting on the hands kind of day so far. I mean, there's been some good movement, but a little bit inconsistent. All right, I like that bearish bar on the Nasdaq. Patience pays, indeed. This is the VWAP for the Qs. SPY is coming up to the VWAP as well. See if it gets above. Possible wider channel here moving up. It could be that we just had a wider channel here earlier that had a move down, new low, and now we're bouncing. That would make a lot of sense actually. Might be interested in a long here. This channel working up. I'm going to be pretty cautious because of the up and down moves over the EMA. Channels are not playing out as well as we would want. So yeah, but if something sets up really nice, we'll have to take it and be monitoring this pullback, see how the EMA does. We might get a solid long here. Here's the break of the channel. Let's see if we can get a pullback to the EMA. All right, well, we're still headed up. Have not really got a pullback yet, but that is what I will be looking for. So wanting a nice orderly pullback to the EMA, second entry long, we'll be trading that. Guys, there is a few more days on the Apex sale. Again, for those 250K accounts, just I don't know what that exactly is, but it's 90% off basically for those things. So yeah, a few more days through the weekend, a few more days to grab some of those, and I think I'm gonna head over to the Discord to trade the rest of the day. We'll cross our fingers for some good price action and hopefully close out this week on a good note. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Wonderful privilege as always. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys this coming week. Take care.